Morning, I'm Steven Sprinkle. This is Morning Bit. Let's get to it. Top 3 things I think are important today. The first of which is the massive theft that just came out of Inputs.io. It equates to about $1.2 million worth of Bitcoin, which is about 4,100 Bitcoins. It's both good and bad news for the Bitcoin economy. Good news in the sense that it's going to drive people to use their own encrypted wallets going forward, because there's been enough thefts thus far in centralized online wallets for people to really get the message that they should not trust their Bitcoins to a third party. They really need to hold those Bitcoins in their own wallet and by themselves. Bad news for Bitcoin because it's going to garner a lot of bad press, and it's going to potentially drive a lot of people in the perspective that Bitcoin is unsecure in and of itself. Now that's not true, but the problem is Bitcoin has an education problem right now. It's fairly complicated to communicate exactly what Bitcoin is. And the equation in this situation is that people essentially have given their cash to a third party and they're trusting them with it. So that's the equation that should happen. What's probably going to happen in the media conversation is that Bitcoins are easily stolen and not secure at all, which unfortunately is probably going to be the mainstream message on this. But understand that Bitcoins are secure when managed properly, and that's not in the form of an online managed wallet. Second thing that I think is really important today is the statement that just came out of the Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs U.S. Senate Committee, and specifically the statement by Senator Tom Carpy. And essentially what he said is that the United States government needs to have a more thoughtful discussion and thoughtful mindset on how they handle digital currency exchange as well as the markets that are around that digital currency. I think this is fantastic to hear coming out of a committee in the United States Senate, because thus far, and from his statement he's correct, that thus far there's been a whack-a-mole kind of approach to these companies, and it's really had a chilling effect on companies developing in the United States. We're developing in the United States, but we are, as I've talked with other entrepreneurs in the area, we are taking a fairly bold step in uncertainty around this because of the approach thus far of these agencies. We think overall it's going to work out, but I think it's great to see that they're having this discussion. They're going to be having a meeting later this month, and I'm really curious to see what happens from that, and I'll update you if I hear anything. The third thing that I think is really important today is that recently a study came out of Cornell saying that essentially the Bitcoin mining process can be manipulated. There was a lot of discussion around this and a lot of heated debate around whether the suppositions inside of this study were correct or not. Essentially, it's come down to that theoretically, yes, it is a possibility. Practically, no. It's a highly unlikely situation to occur. I'll link to the descriptions below. It's a fairly complicated process that they describe, especially if you don't understand Bitcoin mining. But let me know if you have any thoughts on this. Write in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you guys think around the Bitcoin mining process and the potential manipulations of that process. Like and subscribe below if you really like this content. I'm really excited to develop the channel out in some new directions. So be watching for that over the next few months, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.